Welcome to my madness, ladies and gentlemen. Today I want to do a real quick look and show you a custom kit bash that I threw together here for what was an absolutely awful figure. And that, of course, was the Korg Build-A-Figure from the Thor Love and Thunder Wave from, what, 2 years ago now? I don't know. I had this thing in pieces for the last, like, 2 years, and it was just such an awful figure I never even wanted to put it together, even though I had all the pieces. And finally, I said, you know what, I'm going to put him together. And I did, and I absolutely hated him because it was a horrible figure, and I thought, I've got to do something with this. So this is what I came up with. And here we have what I think is a much, much better looking figure than what we originally got. And I didn't do a lot to him. I will show you, there was some modifications that I had to do that are a little bit more than standard kit bashing or painting, but honestly, it didn't take me very long to do. Now, the first thing you'll notice is I did remove that crap from around his shoulders and his neck. I hated that. I thought it looked stupid, and I pulled that off. And when I did, actually, it leaves a gaping hole in his chest, which I had to fill in. And then once I did that, it was going to need to be repainted at that point. So obviously repainting is what I did. Now, little hint here, what I actually filled that in with on the chest, and you can't really tell what I did at all. I filled that in with JB Weld. And this is a thing I've not heard a lot of customizers talk about. For me, and I am nowhere near professional level when it comes to customization, and I am sure there's a lot of people out there who will say JB Weld is just the worst thing in the world you can possibly use. To me, though I have not used it a lot, the times that I have used JB Weld to fill holes and do things like that, it has worked better than I can possibly explain to you, because it bonds and sticks to absolutely anything. It stays malleable for hours, so if you want to mold it and shape it and do things with it, it stays thick enough that it will hold a shape, but yet still pliable and maneuverable enough to be able to work. And that's what I was able to do with this thing here. Now, once I did that and filled the hole in and got the sculpt the way I wanted it, I had to do a little bit of repainting on there. So I repainted the whole thing in a slightly lighter gray than darker gray than he originally came in. And then instead of doing a wash, which was what I was originally going to do, I did the opposite, and I did a highlight dry brush in white over the top of him to kind of make the surface areas really pop and stand out. So, and I think that worked much better than doing a dark wash. So I did him in darker gray, then did a light white wash over the top of him, and I think that worked really, really well. Then I cut those stupid leg flaps off of his belt, because I actually do like the belt. I think the belt looks really good, but had to go ahead and cut those off of him there because they just looked absolutely ridiculous. Repainted his mace. It was just one solid gold color. I thought it just didn't look well, so I added some silver highlights on it and some silver pieces on it to do that. And then, of course, I repainted the pants. I hated the pants on these things. The blue and red looked stupid, so I went with a kind of military green, kind of a dull military green there, to make them just look better, in my opinion. And then the biggest modification, which this is the one that I think a lot of people, when it came to this figure, had complaints about, and that's the fact that his legs stood out like that, and you couldn't get his legs in. So all I had to do that simple modification was open up these joints here. You can see that. Just with a little bit of a Dremel, I just extended these joints down a little bit. You can see that in there, so that you could actually close his legs all the way and he can stand up straight. So, some basic simple modifications that I was able to do just playing around with a figure that I didn't give a crap about at all. And honestly, it turned into a really fun custom, something that I'm really, really happy with the end result of. So, I know a lot of people hated this figure. Absolutely, I did as well. But I gotta say, with just a little bit of time and effort, you can really make something cool and something much, much better out of this figure than where it started. And it didn't take a lot, and I'm really, really happy with the end result. So that is it, guys. I want to thank you guys for watching. Let me know in the comment section down below what you think. And always remember to enjoy your collection.